What's going on, folks? Mrmasonluke here, and today's video is on GenderMender's adhesive nipples. Adhesive nipples? Silicone nipples. But you can put adhesive on them and then they become adhesive nipples. So the idea is that if you're a person who maybe had top surgery and decided not to get nipples, or let's say you've had top surgery and maybe one of your nipples didn't take as well as it was you intended for it to, maybe you had some scabbing, some scarring. There's a lot of people that have had some issues with their nipples healing properly and decide they don't like the current look of them, so they want something that looks a little bit more aesthetically pleasing. That's where these come in. So I personally decided I did not want nipples when I had my top surgery. I have a flat chest, no nipples. And that was just my choice. When I had gotten my top surgery done, I was losing a lot of weight at the time and decided I didn't want to risk the aesthetics of having the nipples kind of shift as I lost weight and then having to have them moved later on. So I decided I just didn't want them. I knew that there was this on the market already, so I was really comfortable with saying, you know what, I just don't want them. I'm actually really comfortable not having nipples at all. I think even when I wear these, sometimes I'm just kind of like, this isn't like normal anymore. I don't know. But when I'm going in public or swimming and stuff, then it does come in handy because, people like staring at you like, why don't you have nipples? If you'd rather not answer some questions, it's a little easier. I'll just put it that way. Maybe you want the daily comfort because you want the feeling of them there. You want to be able to visually see them. I'm just so used to not having them. For me, I only use them when I kind of need to. So how does it work? So you can go on their website. You can order them in various sizes, styles, colors. So let's start with colors first because that's the easiest. So you can pick up to like over 100 different colors. You can get their sample sheet and then pick like what exact color you want. How do you pick? So you find one that you think would match a nipple tone that would work well with your body. So let's say I found, this color right here, and I'm like, I think this one will work. You'd peel it off of the sheet itself, lay it on your body. Sorry, I'm going to tilt it down a little bit. And think, okay, that looks like it would be a decent nipple color for me. So you let the manufacturer know, hey, I want this color. There's a little number on them. I put this one on the back so that way I wouldn't lose it when they came off the sheet. So that's how that works. And then you can pick areola size, nipple size, and I believe shape. So for instance, they have rounded versions and they have more oval versions. They have smaller, they have medium. I'd say these are medium, and then they have some larger ones. There's also a difference between, so you have the areola size, then you have the nipple size. So nipple roundness, and then you have also nipple profile. So these ones here are a better idea of, so small nipple, medium nipple, larger nipple. But then there's also profile. So these ones don't stick up very much. This one sticks up a lot, and this one sticks up somewhere in the middle. So that gives you an idea of like things that you can have customized. If you're not sure what's going to work for you, you can always let people know at GenderMender and they'll help you figure it out. I personally would probably just order the 3-pack, say, send me a variety, small, medium, large, and then let me try things out so that I can figure out what works for me. That's what I kind of did the first time around, even with colors. I said, I think I'm this color, but I'm not really sure. I'll just get a couple different ones and try them out. So this is the one that I have been using for a while now. I like the rounded shape, the low profile, as well as the small nipple. Why do I like it? I don't know. I just do. Ovals are actually more naturally shaped. Like a body's natural areola is actually more oval than rounded, but I like these, so I went with them. So, positioning. They do come on these little plastic cards, so if you want to be able to just, kind of line it up where you think it would work, you can do that and kind of figure it out from there. You can also take them off of this sheet here. They are just silicone. They're not sticky per se, but they are silicone, so if you want to just kind of lay it on your body and kind of move it around until you find a spot that works for you, you can do that. It'll stay long enough for you to be able to figure that out before you glue it. So, where do you put it? Just kind of figure it out as you go. I kind of got my positioning just by playing with it. And then, you just kind of like look in the mirror after, like, no, I think this works. So let's put a pair on. See how that looks. This one can come up just a little bit more. Something like that. So I prefer mine lower toward my scars, and I also prefer them a little bit further out. But that's just me. Not everybody's the same. Some people would go higher, some people would go further in. It's all up to you. It's a matter of preference. It's whatever you're comfortable with. So how to use them, how to put them on, the whole 9 yards. So I would say that there's roughly 3 different ways to adhere them to your body. One is actually the most recommended, I'd say, is the 2-part adhesive mix. So you have the A, you have the B, you mix them equal parts, put it on the back of the nipple itself, and you stick it on. So what I would do is just take it like it is now, put it where I think it is, do a quick mix up, and then stick it right back there as soon as I'm done. So I would mix it. I actually just dip the back of the nipple into it, kind of smush it around a little bit in the glue, and then stick it on. The one that I have on right now is actually an adhesive sheet. I actually had some leftover adhesive sheet from one of the last prosthetics that I glued, so I just decided, hey, you know what, I'm going to try it on a pair of nipples, see what it does. So this is that pair. The only downside I would say on this one is, and I'm going to show it to you on a card so you can see it better, is it creates a much larger silicone like profile, so it sticks away from your skin a little bit more. So if you can see there, actually this way is probably better. You can see kind of how thick that is. Maybe. Let's see if I can do it side by side. So you can see how thin this one is versus how thick this one is. And that's because the adhesive sheet is on here and causing some thickness. So the way that I kind of did it differently is on this one, I took a pair of scissors and basically cut all around the edges of this one. So I would basically I'll show you. I took a pair of scissors and would cut all the way around just the edges in an angle. So I'm still keeping the adhesive all the way to the edge, on as close as I can to the surface. Ooh, there we go. But then I kind of did it angled in. There's actually a decent way you can actually see the angle on it, if you know what I'm referring to. So that just helps the edging to be a little bit more low profile and stick to the body a little bit better. It makes it so it's not quite as noticeable around the edges. Even though the middle's still full thickness, the edges are not, because they're tapered. That's a better word. They're tapered. So that is the self-adhesive version. This would work well if you're just wearing it under a shirt or just for daily use. Not anything to do with water. So the self-adhesive sheets do not work well in water, so I would not recommend wearing these while going swimming. There's a good chance that they will come off of your body and end up in like a pool or wherever you're at. So no adhesive sheets in water. If you're going to do water, use the 2-part mix. Another product that I did use before I was really playing around with some different adhesives was the Hollister adhesive. So this is the spray-on adhesive and spray remover. This stuff doesn't work well on prosthetics, FYI, but it works okay on the nipples because they're light enough that they will stay in place okay. I've already had them where I was wearing them, like my nipples like up here, and then by the end of the day though, they just kind of like sagged and like just kind of just naturally came down a little bit further on my body. So it's not the best option. I don't recommend like going and spending all this money on this stuff because it's not the best option, but it does work. It works enough to have your nipples stay attached to your body. But I do recommend this stuff just because it works better. What else can I say about these? Care. So let's say you have them stuck to your body, and this is actually a good example of one. So I have the self-adhesive, I have them stuck to my body. One of the concerns is that if you don't cut the edges on this, it is a little bit sticky toward the outside where, there is that depth issue. GenderMender does have finishing powder, so it's sort of like a powder that you then kind of just brush on top of it, and then the sticky part will get the powder on it, so that way it's not rubbing on your shirt and like getting caught and then sticking to your shirt instead of you. So the finishing powder is a good product to finish off the edges of stuff so they're not sticky. Bonus item. Went over the glue, went over care. To clean them. So to clean ones like this, run them under hot water and a non-moisturizing soap. I use toy cleaner because I find that it works a little bit easier, a little bit faster. The 2-part mix, you put it on, you wear it. After about 2 days, the edges are going to start like kind of pulling up, and then you can just pull it off. You can pull it off at any point, but after about 2 days, I usually take it off because the edges are coming up. This does not have a remover associated with it. It will stay on the nipple until you kind of have a little bit of a buildup on it, and then eventually you can take some of the buildup off, and you can still keep like re-gluing on top of it over and over again, and then once it just becomes thick, you just take it off and can reuse it again. And then with this one, it has the remover associated with it. Dun, dun, dun. All right, so that's the remover. That's the finishing powder. We did positioning. What else? Ordering, position. I think that might be it. As far as detail, they have amazing detail to them. Let me show you a little bit up close. So if you look closely, you can see all of the little bumps for skin. And then it has really natural ridges to the nipple itself. They're really soft. Like, these actually have some squish to them too. Like, you can squish them. And even these ones themselves, like, I can kind of squish all around, like, and you can see how well they stick. And this is the self-adhesive one, and it's sticking pretty well. So they're not going to just fall off on you. That's the nice part. It's a great alternative for if you don't want to get nipple grafting done. Maybe you have some issues with healing. Maybe you already had an issue with healing yourself. Maybe you're waiting to get the 3D nipples tattooed on, but haven't gotten that far yet because you're waiting. You can't, you know. Some doctors say that you shouldn't get any nipples done until you're fully healed, whatever time frame that is. So hopefully this is a good alternative for some of you. If you have additional questions, just post them in the comments below and I'll get to them as soon as I can. If you want to order them, I'm going to put the website to order from in the description below. All it is gendercat.com. So, and they're amazing people over at GenderCat, always working with folks on whatever they need, anything custom. You know, if you can't find a color that works for you, can't find a size that works for you, they'll work it out for you. Just contact their customer service if you have any issues. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit subscribe to find out when I release new products for review.